Hey y'all, it's Friendly Neighborhood Therapist. So I'm here with news, old news, new news, because you never know who's heard something. I can't stand when I talk about certain things and they may have happened a couple days ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I get somebody in the comments like, this is old, so you could have skipped it. It's not old to everybody because everybody isn't aware. So with that being said, there was a man found hung and burned in Houston a couple of days ago. So this is one time they can absolutely not try to say that this was self-induced. They have said that it's a homicide, obviously, unlike with Trey Reed. Trey Reed, the young student in Mississippi who they tried to say unalived himself by hanging, only to find out that that wasn't the case and they lied a lot, like telling his family that he was found in his dorm room when he was found strung up from a tree. But neither here nor there. I'm not going to let y'all forget about Trey Reed, nor this man in Houston. But the man in Houston, of course, they cannot lie and say that it was self induced. Next up, Alaska and Jamaica. So, Alaska was hit by a typhoon about 2 weeks ago, and it destroyed about 90% of the structures in the areas that it hit. And you know why y'all didn't hear much about that? Because it was indigenous people that were affected. And now Jamaica is bracing for a Category 5 storm that could destroy Jamaica. And the reason why you don't hear a lot about it is because Jamaica is predominantly what? See, when natural disasters happen in places where the population is predominantly anything but white, they don't really care. Now, that being said, that man in the White House, Trumpelstiltskin, and his administration are trying to figure out a way to get him a third term. Y'all, this was all in Project 2025. And even still, some people are upset about this. Now y'all mad. Why? He already told you that's what he was going to do. That's what January 6th was about. A literal insurrection, literal treason in order for that man to not leave the presidency. And then he had to leave. Y'all voted him back in. And now he's trying to be a third term president for the first time ever. And they are looking for loopholes to do so. My thing is, if that is the case, whoever he runs against should be someone who was already president twice. Like President Barack Obama or even George Bush. I would take him back right now. I really would. He wasn't the greatest either, but he wasn't this. Next up, you know, the conversation surrounding black culture and anything related to black culture or any other culture for that matter being demonic, meanwhile whiteness is the way to go, is fascinating to me. Anything non-white is considered demonic. So Travis Green, first of all, I haven't really engaged anything with Travis Green involved since he performed for Tupac Fiasco in his first term. But Travis Green denounced Kappa Alpha Psi, which is a black Greek letter organization, and a lot of people do this. But the funny thing is, Travis Green wasn't financial for years anyway, so I don't get the point of why he had to do this. But my question is, you can denounce black Greek letter organizations or anything having to do with being black, but you can't denounce white supremacy. You can't denounce white nationalism. You can denounce KA but not KKK. That is quite funny to me. But you know what? Not really. Because as I said, it seems that when you're anti-black, everything non-white is demonic. Fun fact. And it's crazy because y'all out here fighting all these spiritual wars, but not the actual wars that are going on in our communities. So interesting. Y'all not fighting spiritual wars. That's not what y'all fighting. Y'all are fighting to have proximity to whiteness and to be accepted. And if that's your thing, fine. It could not be me. I'm not denouncing anything that is black. I'm not denouncing anything that is black because black doesn't automatically equate to demonic. And that's what it's all boiling down to. All these things that y'all decide to denounce. African traditional religious practices and HBCUs and D9 organizations. Everything black, huh? That's quite funny because I don't ever see the white folks denouncing any of their stuff. Have you ever seen George Bush or any of the other prominent white men denounce Skull and Bones? I haven't. Have you ever seen them say that that stuff was demonic? I haven't. But y'all gonna denounce blackness. Okay. And then more important than anything else, SNAP benefits are set to go away, to be cut off November 1st. This means that people are not going to eat. Families and children are not going to eat. This is the first government shutdown where SNAP benefits have literally been at stake to go away. Well, let me correct that. Actually, it did happen one other time almost. And you know when that was? Trumpelstiltskin's last presidency. Funny how feeding people is not at the top of your list when that's what Jesus. Never mind, y'all interpret things the way y'all want to. But the other thing is, do you honestly think that so many people would even care about SNAP benefits or that SNAP benefits would even be a thing if Black people were the predominant users of SNAP benefits? We're not. 59%, 59% of SNAP recipients are white. And a really high percent of those recipients support Trump. So you support someone who is not going to allow you to have food next month. Quite interesting. Then, to go with that, y'all allies out there, do not give kids packs of ramen noodles and potatoes or any other food item for Halloween. Y'all are being real performative and real stupid. First of all, nobody who is lower socioeconomic status, especially children, want to be treated as if they are not the same as other children. Give them kids candy and stop it. If you feel that bad, give them full size candy bars. As a kid, I always loved the houses with full size candy bars. My kids love the houses with full size candy bars. Or give out dollars. There was a lady when I was growing up who gave out dollars. She sure did. I loved going to her house. She gave out dollars, and if you got the dollars, you were good. If you went too late, you missed it. But if y'all are just so set on giving out food, then put two baskets out, one with the ramen and another one with the candy, and just see what one they go for. But stop with the performativeness. We don't need it. We don't need that, and those kids don't deserve that. Candy is actually a luxury for a lot of those kids, not ramen. So cut that out. I've seen too many posts about that and it's ridiculous. Sickening, actually. So don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Well, that's all I really got for y'all today, unless some other things come up and then I'll make another video if that's the case. But y'all have a beautiful, wonderful rest of y'all day and I will holler at y'all later.